Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am the Omni viewer, and I don't mean to keep harping on the Godzilla anime trilogy, satisfying as it might be at times, but I was recently involved in a conversation that devolved very quickly and thus I excised myself from it, that made me realize something about Godzilla City on the Edge of Battle. As you know by now, Mechagodzilla is not in the movie. Instead, we just have a bunch of buildings that grew out of his decapitated noggin. But this raises a question. Why couldn't they rebuild Mechagodzilla? If you think about it, there's really nothing stopping them from rebuilding Mechagodzilla, and it all comes down to the nature of nanometal. The way it's presented in the movie, nanometal is basically unlimited magic. Everything about it defies all the laws of conservation. Think about it. In the 20,000 years of time between the prologue of the first movie and the events of the second movie, the nanometal has not degraded in any way. That's 20,000 years of being exposed to the elements without anyone to maintain and restore it, and the Hotua regularly harvesting it for arrowheads. Every other structure left behind is gone, yet not only is the nanometal still pristine, there's more of it than when Earth was abandoned. From Mechagodzilla's head grew a city. A city with all the accoutrements you would need to turn it into a battle station. Not to mention the ability to generate a safe atmosphere for its occupants. And it's spreading. The nanometal is worming its way outside the city and, according to the Bill Saluto, will eventually encompass the entire planet. All from a single spot on the map, which, when you look at the big picture, is minuscule. And of course, this is a substance that can do literally anything. Whatever the Bill Saluto tell it to make, it makes. A giant EMP spear to jab into Godzilla's back? Easy. 3 small mechs to fly around and buzz Godzilla like insects? No problem. And yes, we can also rebuild Mechagodzilla. The movie blatantly says as much. As they are entering the city for the first time, Haruo asks if they can use these resources to rebuild Mechagodzilla, and one of those 2 interchangeable Bill Saluto characters says, yes, and we can use it for more ambitious projects. Mechagodzilla can definitely be rebuilt. So why isn't he? Well, they do attempt to give us a reason, but it's a terrible one. They note that a section of the valley where Mechagodzilla City rests appears to have been gouged out, and it's noted that this was from Godzilla's atomic breath. That was from 20,000 years ago when Godzilla destroyed Mechagodzilla the first time. Now, of course, everything about Godzilla has gotten bigger and stronger since then. Ergo, Metphius reasons that if Godzilla was that strong back then, and he's even stronger now, then rebuilding Mechagodzilla, a weapon from the past as he calls it, probably isn't going to do much good. This is the only reason we are given as to why Mechagodzilla cannot be remade. And it's not a good reason, because it's built on flawed logic. See, there's one thing Metphius leaves out of his argument. Mechagodzilla wasn't even activated when Godzilla destroyed him. They were just starting to activate him, but Godzilla destroyed him before he could do anything. This is significant because we don't know what Mechagodzilla could actually do if given the chance to fight back. Let me reframe Metphius' argument so you can understand how flawed it is. Suppose we have a group of people in 1800 who want to make a flying machine. This of course is over a century before the Wright brothers made their first manned flight, so these guys would be the first to do it if they succeeded. In this scenario, they build a machine that is fairly similar to the Wright brothers' plane. Our intrepid inventors bring it out into the field to test it, but just as they're getting ready for the maiden voyage, a meteor falls out of the sky and smashes it. The machine is destroyed, and our inventors decide that since it was destroyed by something that fell out of the sky, the machine was never going to fly anyway. Do you see the problem? The problem is that the plane never actually got off the ground, so how do they know whether or not it would actually fly? Similarly, Mechagodzilla never got the chance to fight Godzilla one-on-one, so how do they know he wouldn't be able to defeat him? In fact, given the magical nature of nanometal, there's pretty much nothing stopping them from making a bigger, improved version of Mechagodzilla, one that could potentially be far more effective. Metphius' reasoning is incredibly flawed and should not be listened to, but listen to it, the characters do. Ergo, instead of making one giant autonomous robot that could potentially fight Godzilla and help them execute their plan, they make a trio of smaller robots that need to be piloted to help execute their plan. Yeah, Gen Urobuchi may as well have just written the script so the characters say, we don't want to make Mechagodzilla. At least then it would have been honest. So there's certainly no in-universe reason for why Mechagodzilla couldn't have been in this movie. As far as behind-the-scenes reasons go, well, I personally haven't heard anything, though I have seen a few people theorizing in the comments sections of my videos. It's a popular theory that the reason Mechagodzilla was relegated to the role of scrap pile in this movie is because of the design. No, not because it's ugly, though it is, but because it's overcomplicated. The theory states that this design is so incredibly busy that there's no way Mechagodzilla could move and maintain a coherent shape. He might not even be able to lift his arm without the whole thing flying apart. That's one of the hazards that comes with computer-generated animation. And looking at this design, yeah, I believe it. Of course, Polygon could easily prove this theory wrong by releasing an animation test, but I have a sneaking suspicion that's not going to happen. The more time passes and the more I think about it, the more I find wrong with this thing. In fact, anime Mechagodzilla has the potential to be genuinely dangerous for the future of the Godzilla franchise. But I'm saving that for a future video. Trust me, I'm going to need a lot of space to explain why. For now though, I just wish to make this point clear. There was no reason for Mechagodzilla not to be in the movie, aside from either 1, the crew not wanting to include him, or 2, the crew being unable to include him because they couldn't animate him. And cue the onslaught of people who are just going to call me a complainer and insult my integrity as a human being. Respond however you want, I've said my piece. Until such time as we meet again, this is the Omni Viewer signing off.